Council meeting, March 23rd, 2022. This is Chair Charlie Zelli. Welcome. Just a couple items. We all know the drill. For the last 2 years, almost within a week or two, we've been conducting our meetings virtually. If you are a member of the public and would like to make comments, we invite you to submit them electronically through public.info at metc.state.mn.us, and we will certainly respond accordingly. You do have an opportunity in advance to register for public comments for issues that are not on the agenda. With that, we'll ask Liz to establish a quorum to call the roll. Yes.
Barber.
Here.
Chambliss.
Here.
Cummings.
Here.
Fredson. Gonzalez.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Lee. Lee. Lilligren.
Here.
Lindstrom.
Here.
Musse.
Here.
Pacheco.
Here.
Sterner.
Here.
Bento. Wolf.
Here.
Zurin. And Chair Zelli.
I'm here. We have a quorum, which takes us to approval of the agenda. And we don't need a vote unless I hear an amendment or a objection. And if there's no objection, and hearing none, I will assume we have the agenda approved, which takes us to the minutes from March 9th, 2022. That were sent out in advance. May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes?
Chair, this is Sterner. I'd make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Wolf. Any discussion, corrections? All right, hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber.
Aye.
Chambliss.
Aye.
Cummings.
Aye.
Fredson. Gonzalez.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren.
Aye.
Lindstrom.
Aye.
Musse.
Aye.
Pacheco.
Aye.
Sterner.
Aye.
Vento. Wolf.
Aye.
Zurin.
Aye.
And Chair Zelli.
Aye, the minutes are approved. And that takes us to the time in our agenda that we set aside for public comment. As I understand it, there are not any pre-registered members of the public who are speaking today, unless, Liz, you tell me otherwise.
Nobody signed up.
Nobody did. Okay, so as a reminder, and I mentioned this in my preamble, if you wish to offer a comment at a virtual meeting, please pre-register by emailing public.info@metc.state.mn.us. And as I mentioned too, you can always send us comments at that address. So that takes us to our next agenda item, which is just a business item. Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a joint business item number 2022-62, the Unified Budget Amendment. The 2022 Metro Greenline Extension Budget Amendment incorporates changes to the Transportation 2022 operating and capital budgets reviewed and approved by the Management Committee on March 9th and the Transportation Committee on March 14th. In this amendment, the council is being asked to become a funding partner of the Metro Greenline Extension Project, also known as Southwest Light Rail. The amendment programs $50 million in federal 5307 formula funds into the Metro Greenline Extension Capital Project. We are able to do this by moving $10 million in the Transit Debt Services Funds and $40 million from the recent positive MVEST forecasts into the Metro Transit and MTS capital budgets. Federal CRISA pandemic relief funds are used to replace the MVEST funds in the operating budget. As a result, there is no change in overall funding to the Metro Transit operating budget. The amendment also brings $30.5 million from the remaining balance in the project grant agreement with Hennepin County into the Metro Greenline Extension Project. The amendment also adjusts the 2022 Metro Greenline Extension capital budget plan to $629 million to reflect the project's new spending forecast for this calendar year. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move that the Metropolitan Council authorizes the 2022 unified budget as amended and in accordance with the attached tables that were provided to council members as part of today's report.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second by Barber.
Right, thank you. Okay, any discussion? This is it's a bit confusing sometimes. We hear these funds transferred, and I just want to clarify that this change in the capital component is amendment for the Southwest Light Rail Line project is coming from federal funds, not state funds. I see Councilmember Wolf yet your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I understand why you're trying to move this money around to fill a cash flow hole. And I understand why the Hennepin County Commissioners are frustrated because they weren't on the Hennepin County Board when all of this project began. But I was here on the council when all of this project began, and at that time, Hennepin County decided they really wanted this route and they really wanted to go it alone. They were okay doing it without state funding. And so I believe that we're putting our future transportation funding at risk by transferring money out of our more or less general fund for transit into this project without support of the legislature and others. So I'm going to vote no on this because I think somebody has to say it. I mean, we've been tiptoeing around all this time about it, and you know, we're contract administrators on this. This is Hennepin County's alignment and project that they wanted, and they're responsible for whatever happens to it along the way. So I'm going to vote no.
All right, thanks for those comments. Yeah, Councilmember Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Councilmember Wolf, I appreciate your comments. I will also note that these projects are so many years in the making, and there are oftentimes changes in leadership in the cities, in the county, at the Met Council, throughout the process of building these, which is incredibly challenging and one of the issues that always has to be dealt with, I think. What I appreciate about this is that we need to keep the project moving forward. It has got to happen. It will have positive consequences for tens and tens and tens of years. Our children, our children's children, not just the region, not just the 5 cities, but the entire state. It is a critical investment in a robust transit system, and delays just raise the price. And so I think the fact that the Met Council is stepping up, understanding that this is, what everything that you said, Councilmember Wolf, is true as well. But I think that to show that we are arm in arm and that we are partners in this and that we are looking to all sources of funding to continue to move this project forward is really, really important. So it's a challenging project, no doubt about it, and there will be additional funding that needs to be found, and we're bringing everyone to the table, which I appreciate. So I will be voting yes on this.
Great. Thank you. Any other comments? Oh, Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Councilmember Wolf, boy, do I appreciate your comments. I would say this, I also agree with what Councilmember Cummings said. You know, we're at a critical juncture here where time is of the essence to keep the project moving forward. I personally wish Hennepin County would step forward. They are taking a different course right now. And with that, this is $50 million of the solution, not the entire amount of the solution. There will be, you know, we'll have more discussions, hopefully, with our local partner in the coming months and as the legislative session ends. And I think it's really, really important, and this highlights the, I think, discussion that needs to take place outside of Met Council, but with Met Council about how these projects come to Met Council. So for the council members, Wolf and Barber, who are long-termers here on the Met Council, you know, they fully understand what we receive as projects, and yet with change of leadership and different folks, you know, as local partners, things can change over the years, but that doesn't negate the fact that, you know, we are a fundamental partner in this work. So I think it does highlight the need, though, to discuss and review how projects come to the Met Council, where our role comes in as it relates to what we receive. We know that none of these local projects are possible without the support, strong support of the local partners and the funds that they promise to put into these projects. So staying course, I think, is the right thing to do right now, but it's not the easy thing to do right now. So I'll be supporting this. And I do also want to just say a big thank you to staff on this. You know, they've put a lot of work into this and helped really make it clear how this funding is going to work for us as the decision-making body on this motion tonight. So just a thanks to the staff for really working hard on this item.
Thank you for that comment. Councilmember Barber.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick response to Councilmember Johnson's comments about the process. This is some work that we're actually going to start in the Transportation Committee this year of reviewing this process. Obviously, we will come and report everything back to the full council, probably through a committee of the whole or something at some point in time. But this is a big piece of our work plan for this year. So more to come in the future.
Any other comments? I would just like to add, on top of those comments that have been made, that I agree with. I think this level of funding coming from resources under the control of the Met Council, federal funds, that we could contribute to the project in good faith is an amount that we feel is prudent, given that the receipts coming in from Invest and other sources are coming in above what had been forecasted in the past. So we're going to be able to meet this biennial and future bienniums, not forever, because additional funds are always needed. But we think this is the prudent amount, and really there are limited resources, and I think that this contributes toward this gap, but it is not by any means the whole solution. So we'll continue to engage in those conversations. Any other thoughts? If not, Liz, please call the roll.
Barber.
Aye.
Chambliss.
Aye.
Cummings.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren.
Aye.
Lindstrom.
Aye.
Musse.
Aye.
Pacheco.
Aye.
Aye.
Wolf.
Nay.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this is Sue Vento. I'm here. I'd like to vote aye.
Thank you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Now that brings us to the consent agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
Milligan moves approval.
Thank you, Robert. There a second?
Wolf
Second by Lee.
seconds.
All right, heard a couple, but I saw Councilmember Lee's lips move, so I'm sick. Take that as a second. And any discussion? All right, hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber.
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Musse,
Aye.
Pacheco,
Aye.
Sterner,
Aye.
Vento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
Chair Zelli.
Aye. Consent agenda motion carried. On to the reports of the Standing Committee, and the Community Development Committee has reports on the consent agenda. This brings us to the Environment Committee. Councilmember Lindstrom.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the council. Just one item this week, and that is business item 2022-83, same week. And this requests an agency relocation agreement with the Minnesota Department of Transportation for Interceptor 1-MN-320. MnDOT is removing an out of service section of the Bassett Creek Tunnel in Minneapolis near Highway 55 and Van White Boulevard. And this interceptor lies underneath portions of the tunnel and is in need of rehabilitation. An agency relocation agreement will allow MnDOT to rehabilitate this interceptor according to MCES standards as part of this overall construction project that they are working on. Design has been completed by MCES, and rehabilitation will include over 230 feet of slip lining within a 60-inch pipe, a maintenance structure, as well as reconnecting to the city sewer service. MnDOT's the lead agency, is leading on this project, and the council will be operating under their disadvantaged business enterprise requirements. Therefore, Mr. Chair and members of the council, I move that the Met Council authorize the regional administrator to negotiate and execute an agency relocation agreement 1048770 with the Minnesota Department of Transportation for Interceptor 1-MN-320.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Wolf seconds.
Thank you, Councilmember Wolf. Any discussion? Hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber.
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Musse,
Aye.
Pacheco, Pacheco,
Aye.
thank you. Sterner,
Aye.
Vento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried. On to the Management Committee. Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Management Committee has two items before the council tonight. The first one is business item 2022-63. It's to award transit, wastewater, and wastewater refunding bonds within established financial parameters. They are resolutions 2022-04, 2022-05, and 2022-06. As is done annually, the council is preparing to issue bonds to provide cash flow for projected capital project expenditures. This business item requests council adoption of three resolutions, which will authorize council staff to issue 3 bond series, provided that each bond meets the financial parameters established in its resolution. Specifically, on April 19th, the council will be expecting to sell $53.2 million of tax-exempt general obligation transit bonds, $47.9 million of tax-exempt general obligation wastewater bonds, and $63.2 million of tax-exempt general obligation wastewater refunding bonds. The financial parameters for each bond series are set forth in the resolutions and are established in consultation with our municipal advisor and our bond counsel. The parameters resolutions limit the date of the bond sale, the amount and price of the bonds, the maximum interest that can be accepted, and in the case of refundings, the minimum savings to be achieved. Resolution 2022-04 authorizes general obligation transit bond in an amount not to exceed $55.5 million at a maximum interest rate of 3%. The proceeds of this bond series will be a portion of approved transit capital project expenditures for approximately 12 months and will be repaid by way of property tax levy. Resolution 2022-05 authorizes the general obligation wastewater revenue bond in an amount not to exceed $50.5 million at a maximum interest rate of 3.75%. The proceeds of this bond series will fund approved wastewater system capital projects expenditures for approximately 12 months and will be repaid with wastewater system revenues. Resolution 2022-06 authorizes the general obligation wastewater revenue refunding bond in an amount not to exceed $66 million and must result in a net present value interest cost savings of at least 2.9%. This refunding bond will refinance outstanding bonds from 2012 and is forecasted to save $2.4 million in future interest costs over the remaining 6-year term of the bond. These bond financings support the Thrive lens of outcomes of stewardship. General obligation bonds are efficient and a low-cost funding source for capital project expenditures, and refunding bonds will save future interest costs. So, Mr. Chair, I'll move that the Metropolitan Council adopt parameters resolutions 2022-04, 2022-05, and 2022-06, which authorize the issuance, sale, and award general obligation debt within established financial parameters, the incurrence of retail-related issuance expenses, and the execution of necessary documents to secure such financing.
Wow, take a breath. Well done. Is there a second?
Second, Lidstrom.
Thank you, Councilman Lidstrom. Any discussion?
Quick question, are
Hearing
we
none.
voting for
Liz,
item 1 or
please call
all
the-
items?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are we taking the vote on item number 1 or both items? Because I have a question.
Just the first item.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, any questions, discussion on that? All righty. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber.
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Musse,
Aye.
Pacheco,
Aye.
Sterner,
Aye.
Bento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried. Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The last item that we have for you is business item 2022-64. It's amendment number 1 to the legal services contract with Venable LLC. A little bit of background for the council. The authorization to amend Venable LLC contract is required to continue legal services for the Greenline extension project. Amendment 1 will add $8.25 million for a total authorized contract value of $10.75 million. Venable LLC is actively engaged in assisting council staff through the resolution of civil re-baseline costs and negotiating a settlement with the systems contractor. So, Mr. Chair, I would move that the council authorize the regional administrator to execute Amendment 1 to the legal services contract with Venable LLC related to support Metro Greenline extension projects activities.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Coming seconds.
Thank you. Any discussion, question? Abdi.
I have 2 quick questions about this item. Question number 1, what commitments does the council have that this firm will use diverse vendors as a sub-consultants, construction claim experts, or forensic engineers? And question number 2, do we know the demographic makeup of the legal team that will work on behalf of the council? And can we ask for that information to be volunteer?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody has, thank you, Councilmember Muse. I don't know if anybody has an answer in the staff to some of those questions now, but we could get back to you. I do know Venable is a very large firm, so it depends on, in addition to Ken Roberts, who's assisting him, as a fair number of people. They have particular expertise in this area of large mega project negotiations. And part of the cost of this amount relates to subcontracting with other experts like forensic engineers. But I see Jim is on the screen. Can you make any comment?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Jim Alexander, Project Director for the Greenline Extension. Mr. Chair, I think you covered it. You know, this really is a specialty field with the assistance we have on the legal front, and also the specialty of looking at costs that are associated with the rebaselining of the civil construction, and also with Socotec. They're a specialist when it comes to this forensic engineering investigation that's underway on the Cedar Isles condominium. I would just note that there was an assessment whether there should be DBE participation in this contract, and it was determined that there weren't avenues for that for this particular contract due to its specialty nature.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Any follow-up question, Councilmember Muse?
I just think, you know, this is an opportunity that we can really give many POC experts an opportunity. And without having that information I requested, I am tending to vote no on this item.
Okay, well noted. Okay, well, and we should be looking into that further.
And Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
To Councilmember Muse.
Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And to Councilmember Muse's point, I really appreciate your comments. And, you know, when items like this, again, come through management, you know, we'll make sure that we discuss that item thoroughly as we continue to try to, you know, expand our DBE and person of color vendors within the council's expenditures. So your point is really well taken, and we'll continue to work on that in management.
Any other, excuse me, any other comments? All right, Liz, please call the roll. Please call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Enstrom,
Aye.
Muse,
No.
Pacheco,
Aye.
Sterner,
Aye.
Vento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried. On to the Transportation Committee report. Councilmember Barber.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have 4 items for the council this evening. So first one is business item number 2022-45 is to negotiate and execute a contract with Schmitty & Sons to provide regular routes transit service under the Bloomington, Edina, and Roseville area fixed route transit services. MTS provides approximately 10% of the council's regular route transit service under 5 multi-year contracts. Bloomington, Edina, and Roseville area contract consists of 6 all-day routes located primarily in the southern suburbs of Minneapolis. Schmitty & Sons submitted a very good proposal and the lowest price, so it was deemed most advantageous to the council by the proposal review panel. Schmitty & Sons is the incumbent provider, so the contract transition will be quite simple. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move that the Metropolitan Council authorize the regional administrator to negotiate and execute contract 21P290 with Schmitty & Sons Transportation Incorporated to provide regular route transit service under the Bloomington, Edina, and Roseville area fixed route transit services in an amount not to exceed $29,255,000.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second that. Lindstrom?
Thank you, Councilmember. Any discussion, questions? All right. Liz, you may call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Musset,
Aye.
Pacheco,
Aye.
Sterner,
Aye.
Vento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried. Back to you, Councilmember Barber.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, council members, business item number 2022-51 is to enter into a design project with Kimley Horn for the Greenline and downtown switch heater replacement project. The contract is to design switch heater replacements for the entirety of the Greenline and in downtown Minneapolis. Work also includes designing the replacement of downtown east interlocking in downtown Minneapolis and parts replacement at 3 interlockings in St. Paul. Design is needed to address corrosion on the track switches due to the DC-powered switch heaters. The design is expected to be finished by the end of 2022, and construction is planned for 2023 and 2024. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move that the Metropolitan Council authorizes its regional administrator to award and execute contract 21P284 with Kimley Horn to design the replacement of switch heaters and special track work on the Metro LRT Greenline and Blue Greenline in downtown Minneapolis in an amount not to exceed $1,342,000.
Great, thank you. Is there a second?
Second by Chambliss.
Thank you, Councilmember Chambliss. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber,
Aye.
Chambliss,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Lindstrom,
Aye.
Musset,
Aye.
Pacheco,
Aye.
Sterner,
Aye.
Vento,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Zurin,
Aye.
and Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried. Councilmember Barber.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Business item number 2022-58 is regarding regarding the approval of AECOM Contract Amendment Number 12 for Advanced Design Consultant Services. The contract with AECOM was executed in 2014 for design and engineering services for the Metro Greenline extension and provides design support services during construction and support during follow-on testing. This amendment will add $10.6 million for a total contract amount not to exceed $151 million. This amendment will fund work for the remainder of 2022. Staff will assess project needs for 2023 through the completion of the project as the 2022 construction season concludes. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move that the Metropolitan Council authorize the regional administrator to negotiate and execute contract number 12 to contract 14P125 with AECOM for advanced design consultant services to increase the contract in an amount not to exceed $10.6 million for a total contract amount not to exceed $151 million.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Bento
Second.
seconds.
Who is that?
Bento.
Bento. Okay, Councilmember Bento. Thank you, Sue. Any discussion, questions? Right, hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber.
Aye.
Chambliss.
Aye.
Cummings.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren.
Aye.
Lindstrom.
Aye.
Musset.
Aye.
Pacheco.
Aye.
Sterner.
Aye.
Vento.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Zurin.
Aye.
And Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried. And now last but not least, Councilmember Barber.
Thank you once again, Mr. Chair. Business item number 2022-59 is regarding approval of the Braun Airtech Corporation Contract Amendment 2 for quality management services. The contract with Braun Airtech was executed in 2018 for quality management services for civil construction for the Metro Greenline extension. This amendment will add $7.8 million for a total contract amount not to exceed $43.8 million. The work includes extensive field inspection and testing along with manufacturing plant inspection and testing. This amendment will fund work for the remainder of 2022. Staff will assess project needs for 2023 through the completion of civil construction as the 2022 construction season concludes. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move that the Metropolitan Council authorize the regional administrator to negotiate and execute amendment number 2 to contract 18P018 with Braun Airtech Corporation for quality management services to increase the contract in an amount not to exceed $7.8 million for a total contract amount not to exceed $43.8 million. This authorization is contingent upon council approval of the 2022 budget amendment, Metro Greenline extension budget amendment, which we passed earlier this evening.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is there a second?
Johnson seconds.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. Any discussion, questions? All right, hearing none. Liz, please call the roll.
Barber.
Aye.
Chambliss.
Aye.
Cummings.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren.
Aye.
Lindstrom.
Aye.
Musset.
Aye.
Pacheco.
Aye.
Sterner.
Aye.
Vento.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Zurin.
Aye.
And Chair Zelli.
Aye. That motion carried. So quite a few business items today, but no information item. Are there any reports or anything that any council members like to share? All right, how about Mary, our regional administrator? Any words?
Mr. Chair, I'll pass.
Oh, you're muted.
I'll pass today, thanks.
Oh, okay. Is our general counsel here? Ann?
Yes, I am. I will also pass, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Well, we're all passing. Here we are, enjoying spring. It's a cold and snowy day in Minnesota, so we get to have some time off. It's 4:41. It is still light outside, so enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you so much. We'll see you all soon. This meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Thanks.